right. Excellent job as always. Just a reminder. So just to make things easier on the videos that you make, you don't have to do the repeats for the video anymore. Just the working up portion is all we need at the moment. I just had you do the repeats initially to make sure that you understood how it should be done. So if you don't want to add in the repeats in the videos, definitely don't have to. I know there's a lot more pressure when you gotta record it, as I have experienced quite a few times today making everyone's stuff so far. So yeah, when that record button is hit, then the pressure's on, huh? And then when you goof it up, it's like, oh no. And the pressure builds when you make another mistake and another, and yeah. So yeah, just the working up portion. That's all we need now. But yeah, if you want to send in a repeat, if you want to make sure it's still done well, that's fine too. But yeah, just keep that in mind to save yourself some recording time there, and then you can add in your repetitions with more ease. Unless you feel like you do it better when you're being recorded. Every now and then some people do better when they're on the spot. But anyway, yeah, all that upstroke stuff, it's a pain in the butt, isn't it? Man, it's crazy hard. So this one might not be as difficult, but it's an oddball. So the rhythm is notated two different ways. So the first 3 bars, that's the full strumming pattern. The strumming pattern, or rhythm, is repeated down here. So what we're looking at is basically everything rings out a beat and a half. So we strum on the downbeat of 1. That carries across the downbeat of 2, so we strum again on the upbeat of 2, which carries across the downbeat of 3, strum on the downbeat of 4, and so on. So quarter note tied to an eighth note, 8 tied to quarter, quarter to 8, 8 to quarter, quarter to 8, 8 to quarter, quarter to 8, 8 to quarter. So that's shown a little bit different down here, so way less tied notes. So you got your dotted quarter note, which is a beat and a half long. So remember, when you dot something, you extend the length of what's dotted by half. Half of a quarter note is an eighth note. So a dotted quarter note is the length of a quarter note plus an eighth note. So this here, same thing as here. You know what? I just noticed I never did the full chord progression. I wanted to go here. Yeah, I wanted to go up at that point. Let me change that real quick. I goof that up. Whoops. Boom, boom. Oh my god. I'm glad I caught that. Although I would have caught it when I started playing anyway. Okay. So there we go. So based on some harmonic minor here, E harmonic minor to be specific. Let's see. Right, I was going about the rhythm here. So yeah, beat and a half, dotted quarter note there. So here we got the quarter notes tied to an eighth note because we have to. It goes across the bar line. So we don't have enough room to show a beat and a half right here. It's got to carry over into the new bar. But once again, beat and a half, eighth note tied to the quarter note because of the bar line. And then here, probably won't see this too often, but maybe. It's just another way of writing it out. Basically, I really don't like how that's written because I want it to say 2 to 3. In other words, 2 notes or beats, or no, I guess it'd be chords, not beats. 2 chords evenly spaced across 3 beats, because that's what's happening there. Because if you look up here, you have 1, 2, 3 beats. 1, 2, 3 beats. And those are evenly spaced across the 3 beats. So this is a 2 across 3 polyrhythm the whole time. It's polyrhythm. So I like to say across. I know the typical thing is to say 2 against 3, which I guess kind of makes sense, but I like to say across so you can think of it that way. You are taking 2 things and spacing it across 3. So you got the chords that continue to hit at an even distance apart the entire time. Everything is a beat and a half. Everything here is a beat and a half that you're playing on. The tempo is still clicking on every downbeat. So the metronome is doing 1 tempo. The chords, because everything is evenly spaced, is doing a 2nd tempo. So after every 3 beats, it will start again. It'll come together again. So one way you could count this is in a 3/4 time signature instead of a 4/4. So, because the rhythm pattern is just that right there. You strum down, and then you strum up. Now what I recommend everybody do to get really used to the feel of this rhythm and to make sure everything is spaced properly is you're going to be doing a lot of ghost strums. So you strum, hit that chord, you miss the upstroke, miss the downstroke, hit the upstroke. So foot's tapping, especially at the slower speeds, is you hit, so you hit the downstroke, miss an up, miss the down, hit it on the way up, miss the downstroke, miss the upstroke. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 1 and. So, because again you've shown you're pretty advanced at this stuff and you catch on very fast and you're getting it down really, really well, I've skipped some steps as I've told you I've done with some other stuff. So a lot of times what I'll do with people who need the extra help is I will give them something that is in a 3/4 time signature so they can just get used to the strumming pattern. So that's kind of the tough thing on this one here, because you got the 3/4 times, well, the 4/4 time signature lays the whole thing out, and you're changing chords each new bar, which produces 3 chords, 3 chords, 2 chords. So it's really like you got a polymeter and a polyrhythm at the same time, because you got like a 3/4 time signature happening during a 4/4 time signature and the polyrhythm. So just poly goodness. All right. So yeah, you can count it as a 3/4. So like just doing like 1 and 2 and 3 and 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 so on. You just got to be careful of when you change those chords. So it can absolutely be very tough at first. So let's give it a go. 60 beats per minute. And what the heck just happened to my footstool? Oh my goodness. What is going on today? Everything started off really, really good, and then things are getting silly. Okay. Y'all good now with your stool? Man, this thing's like getting all bent here. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 3 and 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and. So just remember another thing. You're always going to switch between hitting on a downstroke and an upstroke. So you get down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. All right, 120 coming up. Okay, yeah, my footstool just broke. Something's bending, and in a weird, weird way. What happened? Oh, okay. That'll explain it. Look at that. That piece right in there. It came out. Oh my god. Well, that sucks. I've had this thing for a long time. Is there any getting it back in there? Damn. I'm guessing not. That I see. Well, that sucks. I need something to put my foot on. Hold on. What can I use? What can I use? Yeah, will this toolbox be high enough? Kind of. Well, I guess it'll have to do for now. Crazy. Alright. Oh, that's a bummer. Alright, 120. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can also just count how many times you strummed things. So, just counting the chord 3, 3, and 2. So I find that helpful when things get going pretty fast. So when you feel comfortable with the strumming pattern itself, with what the rhythm is, you can just count how many times you've played the chord, so you're ready to move on when you get back to saying 1. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. And good old 240. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oof. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go down to 200 for the repeats. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. To number 2, the next palm mute accent pattern thing. So this one we got, I'll say open for the non-muted stuff. So open, mute, mute, open, mute, mute, open, mute. And then we do that again, but we keep moving the chords around. Open, mute, mute, open, mute, mute, open, mute. And then we do the same thing a whole step down. Open, mute, mute, open, mute, mute, open, mute, open, mute, mute, open, mute, mute, open, mute. Man, I wish there was something else I could put my foot on. Oh well, we'll deal with that later. 60. 1, 2, 3, 4. 120. 1, 2, 3, 4. 180. No, 160. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 200. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll try the repeats here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. To the new single note picking, 60 beats per minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm using a whole half diminished scale for this. Whole half diminished scale. Because every note is a whole step and then a half step apart. Whole step, half step, whole half, whole half. Alright, 100. 1, 2, 3, 4. $140. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. $180. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's keep her going. 200. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 220. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 240. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's call it there. Back to 180 for the repeats. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, there we go. So, yeah. Assume you got my email by now. You asked if I had seen your videos yet, so might as well say it in the video too. Just to hopefully make sure it's all understood. So yeah, you know, I can't remember if it was you or somebody else said that they wanted to turn their videos on at a certain time, but because either you or the other person wanted to do it on Wednesdays, like it was good for me because that's when I've been having like everybody turn their stuff in. Because like I did the correspondence thing at one point, and then like I stopped for a little bit and got back into it, and I noticed that like for some people, they would turn their videos in like hours late or a day late, sometimes even multiple days. So it's kind of like to try and play it safe. Like basically most people, they turn in their stuff on Wednesday, and so as I'm going throughout the day, you know, working with like Skype students, because most of the people I work with are on Skype, you know, doing their stuff, their recaps, whatnot, their videos and everything, because we do the lesson, and then I also make a recap of everything too. But like having people turn their stuff in on that day just allows me to see like, okay, so I got a plan for this to make sure I have this all done tomorrow. So anytime that I can get a response that same day, I always do. This week has just been nuts. Like there's been, well, little family thing that needed to be taken care of, so that ate up some extra time. little, but still important. And then just kind of playing catch up with everybody, so making sure I get things turned in on time. So yeah, the latest will always be like the next day. So you turn your stuff in on Wednesday, I will get your stuff over on Thursday. If for any reason I can't, I will definitely let you know, reimburse you for anything that I can't make. But yeah, so anytime I can do your stuff on Wednesday, I will, for sure, because I want to do everybody's stuff as soon as they turn it in. It's just sometimes I got tons of stuff piled up, so I got to do it the next day. But so sorry for the wait, but there we go, new stuff. You're doing great, and yeah, I think that covers it all. So any questions, let me know, and I will see you again next week.